Hey, what's up, people? Happy Sunday. Yeah, this weekend, actually, I shouldn't say this weekend, this week, my man Obama, he got admit, he made me proud, man. He came out and he basically said, I am a black man. This is how I feel about it. This is how I understand how everybody else feels about it. And I was actually proud that he did that, man. And I was actually, like, hey, he took a risk doing that because no sooner he did that, then, his opponents just came out. It was like, they started talking about him basically like he was Reverend Al Sharpton. And I have to admit that I was kind of on some, like, what about us type thing with him, like, because it seemed like he came into his second term, like, trying to wave that gay pride, the rainbow flag for the gay community. And I'm just like, yo, hold up, man. I was like, well, that's all cool, good and cool for them, but what about us? I mean, they're getting everything that they want. And it seems like, stuff is getting taken away from us. But, as far as I was concerned, the gay community, they have Hollywood, they have the music industry, they got most of the media, they got, they all got their backs. So I'm just like, why are you waving the gay pride flag for them? I'm saying they're going to be all right, though it helps to have the President of the United States to have your back too, but I was like real pissed when like the guy Jason Collins came out and said he was gay and everybody was like congratulating him. I'm just like, well, hold up, man. To me, that's like no big deal. But the president was tweeting and the first lady was tweeting, oh, congratulations. But I'm like, oh, what kind of shit is this, man? What about us? And what about the brothers? We got your back. We got your back like nobody else got your back. So I was kind of feeling some kind of way about him. I was like, yo, I was real disappointed. I figured his second term was just going to be like, I'm going to make sure that he's going to pass all these, like, gay marriage and all this other stuff. And, it's like, black people are just going to be, like, left stagnant. Like, boom, we're going to leave you like this. But what he said, actually, it's not even what he said, but what he actually did when he did that. I don't know, I guess he was feeling some kind of way about everything else that was happening. He said, he went up there and said, I guess he just felt like a need to do that, which shocked me, because, I already know that, he wants to be the president of the United States, and he doesn't want to be seen as the black president, the president of black America, let's put it like that. And, no sooner did he do that, people started saying, oh, he's being racially divisive and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And he wasn't speaking directly he was speaking to America as a whole. He wasn't speaking directly to black, but in a way he kind of was speaking to us too, letting us know. He's letting black America know that, like, it wasn't like I feel your pain kind of thing. It was like, I know what's going on, and, I know what, and I feel about my way about this and all of that. And he even did, if you really listen to it, he started talking about the Stand Your Ground law, and everybody else was talking about the Stand Your Ground laws going on in these states, and people are starting, like, he and everyone else is starting to see, like, hold on, man, people are going to use this to just run around as an excuse to run around and shoot somebody you don't like. And when you first heard about the Stand Your Ground laws, it sounded like a good idea, but now you see people just going to use to run around and, like, play vigilante or just shoot people they don't like or people they don't want around. And that's not cool. And even for these people, conspiracy theorists, the Stand Your Ground laws are being backed. Got the name of the group, but anyway, this group is being backed by these people called the Koch brothers. If you heard about the creepy ass white man, these are two creepy ass white men. They start a lot of groups, associations, and companies that back stuff. They just want to control stuff behind the scenes. But but anyway, they're part of they're supposed to be libertarians. When the libertarians are supposed to be like less government and more. But basically, I don't know really what their agenda is, what they're doing because they're libertarians, or what the deal is, but they've gone against things that will hurt not just black people, but I guess poor people. You can't really call them racist because I believe the Libertarian Party is like, they're pro-gay, so you can't really say that they're pro-gay marriage and all of that. So, but anyway, I know there are people who listen to some of my videos who think that who will believe that there's a real conspiracy to keep black people down and all that other stuff. And if there's one thing that's like real clear is those. All right, I keep saying Koch brothers. I almost keep saying Koch because they actually spelled Koch. They really, but they can pronounce their names as Koch. But those brothers, they're definitely on some conspiracy behind the scenes stuff. I don't know what their overall agenda is. Outside of like, I think they want business to like totally control everything, like leave government like they just want to do. They're already billionaires, so I don't know why they want more control of everything, but. I don't know what their real agenda is, but it's just insidious, the stuff that they do. And another reason why I mention that is because a sister from the East Harlem sent me a thing about boycotting companies who financed Zimmerman's trial, and the fact is that they really didn't finance the trial. They financed groups that proposed, that backed stand your ground laws. They didn't actually finance Zimmerman's defense team. As far as I know, Zimmerman, all of that stuff just came from donations, unless they, somebody did some under the table stuff. As far as I know, that came from, donations through the internet and people sending checks and stuff like that to PayPal. Because I've heard that stuff before, that that these companies are financing his defense team, and I don't like to go into that conspiracy stuff because I don't know. To me, it's like a negative way of thinking. I mean, sometimes it's true, but it's just a negative way to think that somebody's out to get you all the time. You know what I mean? You have to kind of have a positive outlook on life. You have a positive outlook on life that can just leave you like having a dark life. But anyway, back to the topic, man. I always get off on tangents on the other stuff. Somebody told me in one of my last videos to stay focused. So I'm trying to stay focused right now. But I just really wanted to say this because I was proud to see, Barack Obama do that, stand up to the podium, wasn't unscripted. And, I know people were trying to pressure him to say stuff. Now, I already know, he just made us, he said stuff, he didn't pass any laws, propose any new legislation, any of that. But the fact he just did that to me meant a lot. Because, he put himself out there. I mean, the taxis coming in and out, he's now, I saw some articles saying, it looks like Al Sharpton is the president. But they're comparing him to Al Sharpton now just because he said, he said his piece. But I guess he felt it was something he had to say. I'm pretty sure he's had discussion with his wife and his daughters about what's been going on. And, I'm proud to see that he did that. Even if he doesn't, he can't do that all the time. He definitely can't. He knows he can't. But he didn't say too much, but he didn't say too little. And he actually said a lot more than I even expect. I didn't expect him to say anything, but he said a whole lot more than I actually thought he would say. But I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody's heard it, so I'm not going to repeat what he said. Points to what he said. I was just proud that he actually said it. And I know some people are just whoa, they want him to do something more current, like passing. But he's not a dictator. He can't do all that. He has to fight Congress to get anything passed. He has to fight Congress, tooth and nail to get anything passed. So, believe it or not, I'm thinking. I think I did. I don't even remember, but I think I already gave a shout out to Nikki. But just in case, I gave another shout out to Nikki, just in case I didn't say that at the beginning, because I was thinking about a whole bunch of stuff, but I just hope I didn't forget that. But anyway, thanks for listening, people. Thanks for listening to me, and I hope you have a good Sunday. Thanks for listening. Peace.